Hey everybody, good morning. Crypto Mentor 99. I have with me Laura Taylor, crypto enthusiast, Digibyte legend, crypto pioneer. Like Superman, she leaps tall buildings in a single bound. Laura, thanks for coming on with me. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. You're killing me with these introductions, though. So much pressure.
I love it. Well, Laura, I did a video last night. Laura is and now I'm being serious. Laura is a key member of the Digibyte awareness team. And we were talking during the pre-interview. The goal of the Digibyte awareness team is not to gain more followers on Twitter, but I'm always amazed, and I won't name everybody by name, but how small, relatively speaking, some of the people on the Digibyte awareness team's Twitter is, which isn't a representation of their importance and popularity, if that even makes sense. But so when Laura said, "Hey, let's do some interviews," I'm like, "Hot diggity dog!" I got my Digibyte T-shirt on. I've got the logo over my right shoulder. But before we get going, one of the things that Laura and I wanted to talk about, there was a tweet this morning from John Moore from the Litecoin community, and I'm going to read it. And I wasn't involved in any of these discussions or these tweets. I just saw John's tweets this morning, and Laura's like, "Let's talk about it." I'm like, "Yeah, let's open up with this." So if I can read it here, this is John Moore. I wish the Digibyte people would stop jumping on my tweets telling me how much better Digibyte is from Litecoin. And then there's more after that. But so Laura, let's kind of just open up with, even though the Digibyte awareness team can't control what people tweet, let's kind of talk about the different communities, and you could be an investor in 2, 5, or 10 different projects.
Exactly. And here's the thing. I mean, this bear market, it's exhausting to fight a bear, right? So we all get tired. We get cranky. We get short with people. But ultimately, it hurts. I think the whole space to be negative and to tear someone down or attack someone. I mean, again, this is a decentralized world that we're trying to live in. But in that, I think there's a beautiful part of that we have this freedom to be who we want to be. But also in that community, there's also a responsibility.
Yeah, that's good.
To your own self, to your own investment, to your own goals, to be like, okay, if I'm gonna attack somebody based on their projects or whatever, what's the ultimate goal?
Yeah.
And I'm on the awareness team. It doesn't mean because I'm on the Digibyte awareness team that I hate everything else.
Yeah.
I think that I have a lot of respect for anybody in this space who's trying to innovate.
Yeah.
And things are going to be messy. Things aren't going to be perfect. But I think we've got this mentality that there's got to be a winner. There's got to be one winner. And I just don't. I think that minimizes the potential. If you think there's going to be one, Bitcoin's going to be the winner, Litecoin's going to be the winner, Digibyte's going to be the winner,
Yeah.
Ripple's going to be the winner. Whatever you think is, there's going to be one winner. I think it's a limiting point of view, because I think that there's places for a lot of these things. And so I would just say, and I know there's been talk, about just civil discourse is very important in this space, and to also keep in mind that I'm American, you're American, but this is a global community, and how we speak to people from other cultures isn't always, we can't be so narcissistic to think that everybody sees things the way we do. So I would just say, try to be kind, even if you have a difference of opinion. I mean, I have some of my closest friends have very different opinions than I do, and we have wonderful discussions.
Yeah.
And we walk away not tearing each other down, but educating each other. And so that would be what I would say. And I apologize to John Moore that he feels that he's been attacked for his Litecoin his Litecoin support. Like
Yeah.
I would just say, if we could just all be kind, it would make the awareness team's job a whole lot easier, because we're trying to connect with businesses and exchanges, and they look at how our community reacts, and we have to kind of like be like, well, that's just one or two people. Like the entire, we're trying to build relationships, and so if you're a Digibyte investor, think about it on that end. If you could just keep that discourse as positive as you can, it helps your investment overall, because it helps us to build those relationships that we're reaching out to these exchanges and businesses to partner up with.
Yeah, I don't know if this is an inside joke, but when John Moore and I don't even, like when we send messages on Twitter, I don't even know what's that called, direct message. I don't even know what it's called.
Yes, it's direct message.
But I say, yeah, I'm kind of dating myself, right? Am I blushing? Can you tell? But I say to John Moore, I'm like, dude, your middle name is Get Her Done. He has a credit card processing company out on the East Coast, and he just seems like, and we did like 5 or 6 videos in August of like credit card, the shortcomings, for lack of a better word, of a credit card processing versus like Litecoin and cryptocurrencies. And I just found them to be very engaging. And I'm not trying to fluff them on this interview. Very engaging, very wise, articulate, and again, just a real passion for, well, obviously Litecoin, that's kind of the banner that John's waving, but just, a guy of integrity, frankly. And I don't know him personally. We've just done a few Skype interviews, but so yeah, if he says on his tweet, hey, get off my back a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's one of those things, like all of these, I would say all of them, but a lot of these stronger communities like this, we're just trying to find solutions, right? And John's trying to find solutions, and I would just say, if we could just if we could work together,
Yeah.
we'll find those solutions a lot faster, and they'll be probably a lot. Those will be stronger solutions.
Yeah.
So, the more we can work together for the ultimate goal of either mass adoption, or even if you're like I don't care about mass adoption, I want to get my $100,000 and get out. Even if that's your goal, again, you have to work together. I think at some level in this space. So it's not always easy. Trust me, I've got to take 10 deep breaths sometimes before I respond, and sometimes I've forgotten to take those 10 deep breaths, and I've really regretted it. So it's just a matter of just trying to be as mature as you can in this space. Everybody's stressed, everybody's tired, everybody's ready for a change, but the change will come faster when we're all working together.
And we talked, again, this is Humanity 101, but I'll just say it we were talking during the, pre-interview that, words matter, and if someone, well, even like yourself, that has, a profile position, I'm being serious now, Digibyte Awareness Team, as we rise in our sphere of influence, we always have to watch what we say, period, no matter who you are, but as we rise, and I don't consider myself rising in the crypto community, but as someone rises in their level of influence, your words matter and are a little more powerful than someone that doesn't have your status or position, even though that's basic. I know it's basic,
Absolutely.
But anyhow.
Yeah.
So, John, keep up the good work, brother. So, the other thing that we want to talk about, and Laura and I are going to do more than one video this morning because we didn't want to do one video an hour long. We're going to break them up into bite-sized pieces, as I call it. The second subject we wanted to talk about was kind of getting out from behind your computer, or as I say it, let's start a crypto conversation. So, Laura, where do you want to go with that?
there's just so much. Well, kind of. We did a video. We did an interview like this summer, and it was kind of the beginning. And I just want to say thank you for giving me my first interview, Crypto Mentor 99. You will always have a special place in my heart. But we talked about, starting meetups and how to do that.
Yep.
And I do think we're inching closer and closer, right, to trying to get more people into this sphere, to get them educated, and ultimately be able to move towards, early to mass adoption, right? That next wave, they aren't risk takers like we are. They're not comfortable learning about this.
That's a good point.
In Telegram and on YouTube and Twitter. Like, they need to look in someone's face, like eyes. They need to see, a real life person explain it to them patiently and kind of hold their hand a little bit. And so those of us who have been in this space for a while now, I mean, it's pretty sad with 2 years I'm a major veteran, but time is different in crypto land. But, we do know more about this space than most. Even if we don't consider ourselves expert, I don't feel like I'm an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I do feel like we have more knowledge than most people in the world when it comes to this. If you're watching this video, if you're on crypto Twitter, if you're in Telegram discourse channels talking about crypto, then you're part of that group. And if we could get those people to start meetups or go to meetups and educate people, that would be a huge asset to that next group of people coming in. So we have steps on how to start a meetup on the DigiByte Awareness Team website, dgbat.org, and I'll make sure that John has the link to that for under the video. What I did was I just sat down and wrote just like a list of how to start a meetup and some tips, and it's really quite simple. You don't even need you can start by yourself, and someone people will just show up, but also going to conferences. I mean, we Nana, my team member, and I went to a conference in Richmond, and it was really great. We learned a lot, and we connected with other projects and other people, and people we wouldn't have have not connected with, any other way. Like, we probably wouldn't have connected with them online. And so being in person makes a difference, I think, when you're trying to do that. And I don't think you have to, even if you're not part of the awareness team, if you know that there's like a small conference or something locally, you can contact the conference and say, hey, I'd like to host a DigiByte booth. And, maybe if it's a paid booth, maybe you could say, hey, if I volunteer for the conference, can I get a booth? Or, you can just reach out and try. And it doesn't even have to be DigiByte specific. Like, you just want to get out there. You'd be amazed how many people will be receptive to that if you just ask. But I do think that being out from behind the screen, kind of like what you've been doing, John. I mean, I don't know. I just want to thank you, Mrs. Crypto Mentor 99, for letting John come out and play. You've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy to try to educate people and get people aware that this is happening out there, and it's not being reported on very heavily yet, so people don't realize how much infrastructure is being built, and we can see it. We can see the infrastructure being built and the movements being made. So thank you for getting out there and doing that.
Well, I remember I did, again, this is about DigiByte. I won't mention another project, but I did a couple interviews with this one advisor to this one project. And he said to me during the pre-interview, and it sounded pretty accurate, and I'm going to repeat it here, but what you said, Laura Taylor, is that, we may not think that we're, in it early enough, or, experts, or I'm just a guy, you're just a woman, and we're just doing our thing. But he said to me, he's like, the people that have been in the space or learning about it in the past year or two, they've got maybe a 4 to 6 year, again, who knows, but a 4 to 6 year jump on the people that are going to be coming into the space in the years to come. And literally, this is what he said, you're going to need someone, you know, face to face or a phone call. Or I was on the phone call with a friend of mine, young guy, 30 years old. I sent him some tokens. He's excited. He's got a wallet. More of that stuff than, again, I love computers. I love Skype. I love this. But if people knew me, not that it's about me, but if people knew me in my real life, I'm just going to say it. I'm kind of the life of the party. I like to include people. I like to highlight people. So what I'm doing on my goofy little YouTube channel is kind of what I do in real life. You know, like I want to interview you. I want people to know about you. I want people to know about DigiByte. But yeah, the people that, you know, again, Mrs. Crypto Mentor 99 is an introvert. And I say, you know, we got to get the introverts talking about DigiByte, Litecoin, and other cryptocurrencies. But yeah, I just kind of like to say, you know, let's start a conversation, you know, and even on my, now I feel like I'm talking too much, even on the last road trip, and again, I say this, I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but the people that I met, they thought I was like a rock star or something. I'm like, no, I'm just a guy in a rental car. Okay. I'm not really, you know, they were like, can I take pictures and show my wife? I'm like, oh, okay, you know, but, or my uncle or brother, I'm like, sure. How many, you know, you want a t-shirt? You want a mug? You know, but yeah. And we live in a world, now I'm on my soapbox, don't want to be, where, you know, again, I love Twitter, I love Telegram, but you know, I want to see the pores in your forehead. You know, I want to get close to you and go, dude, you know, you can do it. Or, you know, we're all learning, we're all kind of stumbling and bumbling, and or at least I am. So
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's about making a safe space for people to ask questions. You know, I'm like I said, I basically live my life on Telegram most of the time, and even I get hesitant. Like, do I want to ask that question? I don't want to feel stupid. But if I was sitting across the table from somebody, I wouldn't hesitate the same way. And so, you know, because you don't know how it comes across when you're doing it through texting and, you know, typing. And so I think being able to be in a real life situation, whether at a meetup or a conference or just, you know, oh my gosh, can I just say your grandson's
with the crypto,
Day,
yeah, that was unbelievable.
How cute is that? So it could even be like, hey, I know a little bit about this. That's, you know, starting to gain momentum. Can I talk at my kid's school? Can I talk to, just getting out there? Like, that's one of the goals that I have for 2019 is to, because I'm a former educator, is to contact my local schools and say, hey, can I come out and just can I talk to your classes about it? And I've had people come to our meetup and ask me if I would come talk to their kids' classes. So it's just about getting out there and letting people ask questions. And not that we have all the answers, but I do think that we've gotten pretty good at finding the resources to try and find the answers, and we can direct them in that way.
Well, I remember, again, it's always interesting to me, the memories that I have of like certain trips or business trips, and it's not, you know, the closing a big deal or doing this, but on my last crypto road trip, I got into a discussion with a cleaning lady at the hotel. And I just said, hey, when I say cryptocurrency, what do you think of? And she was, you know, a lovely lady and probably in her 50s. And she wasn't embarrassed. But she's like, tell me more. And I said, do you have any children? She said, oh, yes. And she told me about her 4 children, and 2 were in medical school. And I said, do you have any grandchildren? She said, yes, I've got 3. And I said, I forget what her name was, but I said, ma'am, or whatever, I said, you have the unique opportunity to teach your children and your grandchildren about cryptocurrency. And her eyes got bigger, her shoulders went back. She's like, I do? And I said, yes. Here's a couple of websites. And I wrote them down on my sticky notes. And she's like, I'm going to go home and start to learn. I said, you will be remembered in the, and I'm not exaggerating. I said, you will be remembered in the history of your family as the lady, the grandma, the aunt, the whatever, to start the first domino falling in your family with cryptocurrencies. And she's like, really? I said, yes. What a great and awesome responsibility. And I know you're going to do well in it. And she's like, I am? I said, yes. Anyhow.
And that is a really good point too. Is that even though this is technology and it can be tough, and I do have a math background, so it's still tough for me. But I think this is something that just with time and with support, the opportunities for just anybody, a cleaning lady at a hotel or a taxi driver or like a burger guy. We all have, there's bigger barriers to entry, and that's why, again, for people who aren't tech savvy, those physical communities are really important. But what those physical communities do is they empower those other people. And I found a T-shirt at Target, and it said, "Use your power to empower." And I just love that sentiment, because that's really, John, what you're doing, and it's what I'm trying to do, is use a little bit of knowledge that we've gained to help other people gain some knowledge as well. I mean, that's really, for me, that's my goal in this space.
Well, not the main objection I get, but the few of my friends that I actually tell that I'm invested, or we had talk about cryptocurrencies, when I can't answer a question, they're like, see, like if you don't know the answer, and I say, well, okay, that's an area that I need to grow in, but I said, I don't know all the math and science behind how to send an email, but I do it a million times a day. I said, I don't know, I type it, I'm like, I don't know I don't know how it happens, but it happens. So just because I don't know, not everything, but a lot about cryptos doesn't mean that I'm not going to invest in it, in the same way that I don't know how the heck an email gets from me to you, but it does, and I still believe in emails. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I don't know how a cell phone works, but I use mine every day.
Yeah.
But it's not to say we don't care to know what we can know. And again, that's why I think community is just so incredibly important right now, because I know being a part of the groups that I'm a part of, because it's not just the awareness team, I'm a part of a couple other groups too, through my meetup or our meetup and things like that. Being a part of a community, when you do have those questions, to be able to go to somebody, to talk to somebody and say, hey, this is kind of your specialty area. Can you explain it to me? And it just helps us all get smarter faster. We're reducing the learning curve for each other if we work together.
No, that's
the way
awesome.
The way I see it.
So let's do this. We're going on about 20 minutes, and when I do an interview, I always end with the same question, whoever I'm interviewing. So Laura Taylor, crypto enthusiast, Digibyte legend. I'm killing you, right? So if you had one thing to say that you wanted to leave the viewers with this video, so whether it's what we talked about with John Moore, the community, let's love one another, whatever, or getting out behind your computer or anything else, you're like, oh, I want to say one last thing about this, what would it be?
I think it would be, don't underestimate your power.
Whoa. Okay. Cool.
In good or in bad. Don't, you might have, let's say you have 20 followers on Twitter and you cuss out, some exchange or some other token holder or something like that. Don't underestimate the power of that. And the same goes for good, I mean, if you know a little bit of something, don't underestimate the power of that knowledge. I mean, I think sometimes we all live in this world and we underestimate that. So I guess just don't underestimate your power, and own it, and try to use your power for good, not evil. That's my thing. All
right. This is going to be video number 1. Laura, again, I only tease the people I like. So Appreciate you. Appreciate Digibyte, the awareness team, Rudy, Devin C. Again, I don't know everybody personally, but yeah, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And I'm going to put the link below, seriously, to your Twitter account. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
Can I just say, I got after your crazy
Introduction.
interview video, I got 7 new people on Twitter after that. So thank you, John.
No problem. So let's do another video, but we'll cut this one short. But yeah, Laura, I really appreciate you. Thanks.
Bye.